Okay, so welcome to the video tutorial, which will be the final video tutorial for this Baguette ordering system project with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. What we are going to do today is to work on the administrator page, but just before we do that, we will be doing a short recap of what we've already done before. So here, for example, we finished the user section or the user pages. We enter the user password. And then once we have access, we're able to get into the next thing, which is to see the filling options that the user can choose. And then, of course, the user can then look at the salad options as well. And then, of course, from there, the user can look at the bread types as well. And then finally, the user gets to order or place an order, which I'm going to do now to kind of test this. So an order I'm going to be placing, so I'm trying to zoom this out so it's a better view. And I think I'm going to make it 80%. That would be a better view. So here I will create an order and I will put in my name here. I already have one order created, but I will delete it so I can create one now because we will need an example customer order text file to be able to do the next part of our project. I'm going to say that I want a standard filling. Yes. The extra filling, I'm going to select beef, and salad choice, I'll go with lettuce. The baguette size, I'll go with 15 centimeters, and I'll go with the brown bread, and then finally confirm my order. It says, thank you for placing your order. You can see this customized message. And if I say OK, then my order is going to be downloaded. As you can see, it's downloaded to the system. So the customer does have the order here, which will be essentially in the system of the baguette shop in a real life situation. This is exactly how it's going to be stored. And now this text file is the one that I'm going to upload back in here again. This is just a recap again. So just go back and upload file. And that's a text file that we're going to use for practice, of course. I already have one, so I'm just going to overwrite the one I have. And we're going to be using this text file that I just uploaded right now as practice for our administrator page. So right now, let's go to the admin page. If you notice on the left side, you do have an admin page here, and that was the one that was containing the username and password. And then we created an admin access page, which is the one that we're going to be working on, where the administrator can be able to upload a customer text file order or a customer order that's text file, which is this one right here. The administrator can upload that file and be able to view the customer order on the screen right here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run this, and okay, let's just go to admin directly. I'm going to increase my resolution a little. And now I'm going to enter username and password for administrator. If you want to know where that is, of course, look for the script.js file that we already created in our previous tutorial. And the username I'm using there is Alicia, and the password is Alicia123 at. Now click login, authentication valid, and right now it's just connecting to some random page because we just created that admin access. It's connecting to the admin access page, and that's the one that just has hello, and as you can see, it's showing up here. Now this is the page that we're going to be working on such that the administrator can be able to click on a button and upload the text file that the customer has placed, whichever customer order they want. Obviously, all the customer orders like this one will be downloaded to their system with the name of the customer, and they can just click on that upload button and upload the file and be able to view the customer order on their system. Now to work on that, I will need you to go to your admin access. We are going to create a script file, not a script file, sorry. We're going to be creating a style sheet first for the admin access page, a unique one. So I'm going to probably just duplicate the sixth one right here and just create one that's called 7. So that's going to be for our admin access page. So this is going to be style number 7. So it comes after 6. There it is. And it's just going to be blank, except that I just duplicated 6, so we will have the codes that we need to put the background picture. Now you have to think of a nice design that you're going to be using to create for your administrator. I already have a design in mind from a previous, the plain, picture that I had. I already made this little design here, but I'm going to show you how I did this. This is just from the picture I previously had for this project that was just plain, did not contain anything. So I will show you how this works, or how I got this design, and giving the administrator the instruction to be able to click the browse button so they can open a customer order. You may also want to make this page fun, so you may want to look for a nice animated GIF animation image that results or relates to baguettes or burger or something like that. You can search it online. That's what I do. Just go online and basically search up burger, or you can say baguette if you want to be animation, photos, GIF. I will say that it's better to look for transparent pictures because you want them to sync nicely with your background. If you go to images, you can definitely find a couple of them, and you can use any one that you see that is transparent, obviously. So there are many different ones. You can even have a background that's white if you really want to sync it and you're not able to find anything transparent. But there are many GIF images, so I would suggest that you make something GIFy so it looks good. Now, let's go to Lunapic, and let me show you how I did the simple design for the administrator access page. So if you go to lunapic.com, you will upload a plain design, or you can create one yourself. I already had one, so it's this one right here. That's just plain, and you can just go back to this point. I'm going to show you. So you go here and then you click upload file. You select the file that you want, something you already have ready. So it's going to save you time. And I went to text and I just wrote customer order details over here. And I just basically chose the text style I wanted, which was the one that I was already using. And that was supposed to be chubby. And then I chose the color to be red again, or you can choose it to be blue, really any one you want. And then I just basically arranged it to where I needed to display. And then let me just arrange that. I kind of reduced the size of this to 40 to be a bit smaller than this one. And I put a certain color, so you can change. I think I put blue, and then you can just, apply text. And then the information, I put the instruction at the top here, and I said, please click on the browse button, or click the browse button to view customer order. And then I just basically put that over here at the top here because I didn't want to put it here so it doesn't take too much space, but you can do it that way if you prefer. And I reduced the size to 20, and I decided to use a different style of writing. So really this is your design, and I just placed it over here and changed the color so it's a bit more visible and readable. And then I kind of just placed it right here. And then I just clicked on apply text. Now, once I did that, I just scrolled down and downloaded the picture. And hence you can see that I have this picture that I've downloaded and I've made right here. Now, once you've done that, you will go back to your, so obviously I'm going to delete, we're back to the admin access. Again, remember, we're working to connect the admin access page to this script that we just created, which is script 7. Okay, we're trying to connect those two. So I'm going to delete the background picture and upload this background picture that I've just downloaded. Click on upload file and select it and say, okay, open. And I just called it GIF, but you can give it a more reasonable name. Where is it? It's over here. So you can call it another name. I can rename it to something else. I can say admin background, and it's .png, right? So that's kind of the background name. And then you go back to style 7 that you created for the admin access page and just write the background name, the picture that we just uploaded, this one. And then it will basically apply it. Of course, we have to connect the style 7 to the admin access page. So we're going to now go back to the admin access page, and we're going to be doing some work. So I'm going to take out the paragraph tag. So this is where we will design this page of how the administrator can upload customer order text files. First thing I want to do is to put the title tag. So I'm going to write title here, and I'm going to close my title tag and give it a title. And I'm just going to say admin page. All right. And then I will connect this page to the style sheet. So I'm going to go with open and then link, of course, href, okay, and that's equal to style. .css, and then of course the rel relation with style sheet. And then I will put the type as the text. So style sheet space type is going to be text CSS. Now that's all for the header, but now one thing to do is make sure this style is actually style_7, because that's the one that we created right now. That's going to have this background picture, so it actually reflects the background picture, so you have to connect it to the right style sheet. So not just style, but style_7. Now if you run this page, obviously this is going to work only when you click on admin and you enter the admin. Let me go back and see what my admin was. Lisa123 at, okay. So you put in the username and password, and then of course it moves on, and you can see that it's now opening for me this page. And that's exactly with the background. So that's exactly what you want. The next thing we're going to do is to work on the body. So first thing we're going to do is to position the browse. There's going to be a browse button. When the administrator clicks that button, they can be able to upload the customer text file. So we're going to go and make a body tag over here. And I'm going to do body, close the tag, and of course now inside the body tag, the first thing I will do is create a paragraph tag. And I'll specify the style. So you can really just copy this from one of your programs. But if you want, I would suggest that you write it down. So position, I'm going to make the position relative. And then, of course, I will put a semicolon. I'm going to be positioning this button that's going to be browsed. So I'm going to set it on the left side. So the left will be about 30 pixels. And then, of course, the top. So I kind of know already these positions will kind of fit, but of course when you're doing yours, you can readjust this. We'll give it an ID of equal to, let's call this username. Okay, and perhaps we're gonna have to put this in quotation marks. So ID in quotation marks, and then of course we have our own quotation marks at the end. So we're gonna close this part. And here we are going to put in username. So username is rather you can put an ID that relates to this more. So we can put it as I'm just going to call it file. Okay. So we have the position relative. That means we can be able to move the button and fix it in the right position. That's why we make it relative and not fixed. The left pixels positioning is 30 pixels. The top is 170 pixels, and the ID, we're just calling it file. To be honest, we don't even really need an ID, so we can just take out this part because we don't really need an ID. So there wouldn't be a need for an ID because we're not really going to use the paragraph for anything. So ID would be more useful when you're going to use it in the script file. The next thing to do is we're going to be creating an input file, because an input type, and specify that it is file. So input type, because it's going to be a text file, so it's file input type, not like text. When we're creating like text boxes, we normally specify the input type as text. So, or number, but this one's going to be file. We're going to give it a name and just call it input file. So input file, okay. And then the ID, we probably would also just give it input file. So now we can actually close this tag. We're going to close the paragraph tag because we've now completed this paragraph positioning of this button that we're going to use to allow the administrator to upload the user order text file. The next thing we want to do is to insert image. So the image that I want, I'm going to use this burger image right here. You can search up a nice animated image. Just make sure you upload this image, of course. So just click on upload, and I'm going to upload it right now. So I have it here as burger. Okay, so it's animated. And then I'm going to put that image somewhere at the bottom here area, just so that it makes it look nice. You can choose other images. It just teaches you how to put animated images in your project. So we're going to go, if you want to put image, you put an image source, put the name of your image, and the name of my image is called burger.gif, so it even appears for me. And then I want to position it as well and put it on a certain position on my screen. So I'm going to use the style again. So style is mostly used for positioning things. I'm going to put position as relative so you can be able to move it around and position it. Then I'm going to put the left position to be at negative 20 pixels, so towards like the left side, because I want it to be left down. And then I'm going to put the top at 410 pixels. And then I'm going to also position resize the picture. So I'm going to choose the width, and it's going to be about 200 pixels, and maybe the height's going to be you can say about 150 pixels. Yeah, so that's kind of the part of arranging this image. So that's all for the image. We've already inserted that image. Now we're going to be working on we're going to put a break tag here, which makes this information come to a next line. So once the information for the customer order is uploaded, it goes on the next line. Now we're going to start putting the function that will be, first of all, when we upload a text file, and that's this text file, like for example, the customer order, what kind of size and color and how do you want this information to be displayed on the screen? So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to be creating a tag, and we're going to say ID is the output. So this is specifying the output of the file that we will be uploading, the text file. We're going to use style again to kind of position the whole thing. So I'm just going to copy everything from here, but of course we need to make some slight changes. So I'll copy all of this, and we need to add some things to it and then paste it over here. And I will close the tag. So the pre-tag. Now, one thing I will be adding is with positioning this output, like where do you want the text to be displayed? That's why we put in the position relative, the left. We have to change the left, of course. I'm going to make it at 170, somewhere towards the right side. And then the top should be we'll make it a little bit up. So I'm going to go negative 50 pixels. And then you can specify the color as well. So the color of the text that you want to display, you just have to put color in here and specify your color. And color can be specified if you go to the HTML color groups and you go to the hexadecimal colors. Let's say hexadecimals. Let's see if we can get them. You can actually get hexadecimal values of different colors, and you can be able to use it depending on which color you want. So for example, if you want light pink or if you want red, you just basically copy this hexadecimal values and put them in your code here. So I'm going to use red color sort of. So I'm going to go with FF. I'm going to go 5733. And then of course put my semicolon because I have the width. I'm going to specify the width. The width of this output, like how wide would we give of a space for the text from the text file here to be able to be displayed on the screen. I'll make it a width of 350 pixels, and also a padding space. Padding is just space from the border side to that particular information. So the space from the corner to that information. So I'm going to be putting some padding. After the width, I'll write down padding. And the padding, I probably will do 120 pixels. And then finally, I will do the font size because I want to specify the font size of the text that will show. That means the user order. So I'm going to go with 30 pixels. And then I will put a semicolon, of course, and that's pretty much it. And then we do the height. I would have preferred the height to be closer to so I'm going to take the height just to make it closer to the width. So around here, and then of course semicolon. And then just take this extra semicolon. So I just want the height and width to be close to themselves. And we have the padding, and then we have the font size, and then pretty much closing this tag. Now that's all for the display of how you want the text from the customer text file to be put in here. Now we're going to be putting the functionality of how we are actually going to make the computer allow the administrator to be able to upload this text file from the system and open it here on the screen. So we're going to specify the script. We're going to be putting the JavaScript here. And in this part, what we are going to do is we're going to hit enter and come to the next line. And we're going to be specifying the document type. So we're getting this document as an input because we're uploading it from the system. So we're going to say document.getElement, just like we normally do. And then we're going to say get element by ID, and then we're going to in brackets put the ID, which is input file. Okay, and then we're going to say dot add event, because the event is actually the part of opening, clicking the button and having it to to open up and say pick a file. That whole thing, like when you're uploading a file to your Gmail, or you're trying to send an email, you have that functionality. When you click the upload, it allows you to, or even for example like this one, if you click upload, it allows you to open this window to select the file. So that's exactly what we're trying to do here with this function. So we're adding the event listener, which means what makes this button when you click upload to open up, so you can be able to upload a file. So inside of this part of this function, or you can say this section right here, we are going to be specifying some things. So we're going to be creating a couple of things. And one thing I want to do is just close this with a circular bracket. That's how you close this function. And you're also going to be closing your script. So we close the script over here, and we put the script tag. So close your script. And then, of course, script will end here. Okay, like that. So once you've done that, now come inside this curly brace where you will specify the functional code to make that whole upload easy. We're going to create a variable and we'll call it fr, and that's equal to new, and then we're going to go file reader, because that's the function or feature in JavaScript that will allow you to be able to upload the file so it can read it and put the information on the screen here. So we're going to put a semicolon, and we're going to say when on load, we will call the function. So fr.onload, that means once the file is loaded, we are going to be calling that function. And then in this function, we are going to also have, so don't forget to put the curly brace, inside of this unload function is where we're going to display the output over here. And remember, we did create this ID as output. So we're going to display that output information from text file over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say document.getElement again, and then by capital B ID, capital ID, and then open parenthesis and specify getting the output, which is going to be a text content. Oops, and text content. So we just say output. Okay, make sure you spell it right. Output, and it's going to be of a text content because it's going to be the results. That means the information that you're going to be having inside of this file, which is the output equaling the results that will be displayed here. And that's pretty much it. The last thing is we're going to read this text file from the beginning, of course. So that means read everything from the start of the text file. So that means from the beginning here all the way to the end. So what we're going to do, one more thing, is we come out of this curly brace. Make sure you're out of the curly brace, okay? And we're going to say fr.read as text file starting at files 0. This file, which means we're referring to the file that we're uploading at the 0 index position, which means reading the information of this text file that is customer order from the starting. Okay, so that's the 0 index position. And that's pretty much it for getting this function, this button to work. Now, before we run this program, we just have one more thing to do. And so the next thing we're going to do is now to be able to insert a button that will take the administrator back home once they're done viewing the customer order. So we're going to hit enter, and we're going to open up another tag, and it will be a button this time. So the type is equal to a button. And just like the button we've created before, it will have its own style, and its style will be equal to position again. So we're going to do the whole position, left, right. So you can just really copy everything you have here all the way to the end. And then we're going to be taking out some things and keeping some things. So the position is going to be relative. The left side, we will make it at 450 pixels. The top will be 150 pixels. And the color, I will put it, you can also put the name of the color, by the way, if you don't want to use the, the hexadecimal value of the color, you can put the name directly. Just make sure you're putting the right name. So the names are also here. So I'm using purple for my button, kind of maintaining that consistency of my home screen for the other pages. I'm also going to be doing the font size as 35, so I'm going to change it over here. I'm going to be adding the font family, so I'm going to come here after this padding. I don't really need padding, so I think what I'm going to do is take out the padding. I don't need to pad this button. I'm just going to do font family. So font family means the type of writing style, so I'm going to go with Courier, and then after that, I'm going to go with background color, and I want to put a background color, so I probably would go after here, background, and then color, and I will specify color as red. And then we have the whole width, and I think pretty much everything I need to put I have included. So now we are going to say when on click. So this button, just make sure you close the tab, the button tag, once you're done, of course. So, but of course we're still not done yet. I think we've done the height and the width. Oh, by the way, the width of this button will not be 350. That's too much. I'll just make it 150 and height is 50. Now, after we've put in the style, the next thing to do would be to include an on-click function. So once the button's clicked, it should take the administrator back to the home page. So I'm going to say equal open parenthesis. We're going to do window dot open. Okay, and then open parentheses again. We're going to put the page you want to open. So what page would it be? We're going to take the user back, the administrator, sorry, back to the home screen. So that's going to be index. Okay, so that's the name of our home screen page. Taking them back to index. And then, of course, put a comma, and then you can put a self. You kind of have this already done from previous, so I just kind of copy pasted it. I will like to go with, let me just go with something. I would like to use a single quotation mark here. So index, and then, of course, single quotation marks. And then self, so that's kind of important. And then don't forget to put after self semicolon. And then you are going to call this button what exactly? So I'm calling it home. Okay, so that kind of information is important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's all for this administrator page. We can now actually test it to see if everything works fine. So what we're going to do is first we are going to, and I just realized something. For the top, I think I'm going to make it -80 because I want to take it all the way to the top. And then the left, I probably would make it, let's have a look and see. Let's run it first and then we'll see. So click your run button, you know what to do, and click admin. And of course, put your administrator login. So mine is, I keep forgetting this administrator login information, Alicia, and I have Alicia123. So I'm going to write Alicia123 at login, authentication valid. Nope. Okay, this is good. This is what we wanted. So you can see all the things that we just did is rightly so. I just feel like the button's the only one that's coming way down. So I probably would make it at maybe 200. Let's see on the left side. Let's see how further, because I want to make it further. So we kind of have to go back and do this again. But the good thing is we don't have many pages to cross. So Alicia and then Alicia. Oh, I think I got that. 1, 2, 3, and then at login again. Don't save. Okay, the button's now way to the side here. Okay, let's make it at 320 and probably take it at -50. So let's run again. So you can see that the animation image is showing and the browse button I was talking about is also showing. And you can see I didn't really point that out because I'm trying to get this button to be placed in a nice way. Now I don't see my button anymore. Not sure why. Maybe I missed something. I do have a little bit of an error here. Okay, so get element by is not a function, so I need to actually fix a little problem. Event list. Oh, I spelled this wrong. It's event listener. So that's probably why I have the error. And my buttons disappeared, so I have to get it back. It's going to be event listener. So I spelt it wrong. So it's E-T-E and then N-E-R. I think that was, so it's add event and then of course listener with capital. So let's run it again just to see if I'm getting, so now I don't have any errors. So I'm just going to go back and see if I can view my button again. So I'm just going to enter Alicia and then Alicia 123 at, oops, I typed it in wrong. And yeah, and so let's log in again. Don't save. Okay, the button definitely is disappeared, but if I zoom out, like it's there. So it depends on where you zoom or how you zoom. So if you get it, I don't want to take it. I could take it further up, which then means I could make it at maybe, let's say it's 0. Let's try it at 0 just to see if the top at 0 takes the button. I really want to take it up so that, and then here you kind of have to readjust to 100% so you can be able to type it in. I'm just going to be copying this password, makes it easier to, and so I'm just going to copy it over here, log in, don't save, and seems to still be at the very bottom. So can we try something like 100, positive 100? Let's try that and see if it works. Trying to get that button just to be at the top there. So here I'm gonna enter the username, password. So you kind of have to test this really well. And the button doesn't show again. Okay, so let's try negative 100 at the top. Negative 100 and see if it's gonna show. I just wanted to kind of move to the top, but let's see. And if I click login, okay, the button's kind of now showing. So that's a good thing. So it's now showing here, but yeah, it's kind of moving. Maybe we can make it at negative 200 and see how far it goes. Just see if we can get it. Because if we, by the time we upload the file, the button would go even further down. So this is the reason why I'm trying to get it to, yeah, so this is pretty good. Actually, it's working now. So I'm going to make it at negative 300. So let's run it again and see. So I click on admin. I'm going to enter my username and my password. Oops, I can just paste it actually. I already have it copied. And this is good because by the time we upload the file, the button's actually going to come down. So we don't want it to go further down. Now let's try and see if this works. So it says browse. You see the browse button that we were making and it opens up and tells you to choose the file you want to browse. You want to upload, I mean. So the file is this one right here. Let's upload it and see if we can view those details. So I'm going to click browse. I'm going to go to downloads and I'm going to click that file there. Okay, everything is viewing well. Except we might definitely need to make some changes. So the button, let's try to see if I can zoom out a little at 80%. So it seems the button would have been better off if we just brought it down. So let's take it back down. I'm going to take it at negative 100. It seemed to work really well at that point. So I'm going to go admin and let's log in again. And let's try this again. So I will put in my username and then password. And log in, don't save. Let's browse now and see how everything is. Okay, this is good. You can, of course, adjust this further. If you want to adjust this, you have to come here. If you want to adjust the way it's displaying everything, but then you have to come towards this part of pre-ID. So you have to take it, if you want to take it more to the left, you kind of have to reduce it. And if you want to take it further up, you kind of have to go further up with a higher negative value, maybe like a negative 100. Let's try that and see. So if we run again and we click on admin, so we basically put in username, password, login, don't save, browse, select the text file, And it looks way better now, but maybe we can take it furthermore to the left side. So furthermore to the left, and maybe perhaps even upper. So I'm going to make it negative 130. And maybe here, make it like at, perhaps we can go at positive 180. Let's just see. So if I go back and click on admin, again, username, password. So we are testing this to see how it looks. Now I'm going to browse and select the file. Okay, it seems like it's going more towards the right now. I think it's because I'm adding instead of reducing. So I'm going to reduce this to, let's say, 60. And I think the distance from the vertical axis, y-axis is good. I'm not going to change that one. So I'm going to go Alicia and paste password login. Don't save, upload. And I'm going to select the file. Okay, this is perfect. So now we get the view here. Okay, so if we want to download so that you can see this works, let's try going home. And home, we're back to home. Let's go to user. And I'm going to enter user details. I think user was 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try placing another order. And user was probably script 1. That was where I have like the user IDs. So user 1, 2, 3 at. So I'm imagining I'm a user. I'm logging in. I have seen the different type of fillings that the shop has. Okay. I can go back again. All right. So these buttons work very well. Just make sure everything's working before your final submission. I have the salad options. I can go next. I see my bread types. I can go back again. And it takes me back to salad options. I go next again. I see my bread types. I can go next. And this is where I can place my order. So in placing my order, I'm going to go and let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see all those selections. I'm going to put a different name here. I'm going to put Nazha and then standard filling, I'll say no. Chicken is my extra filling. Salad is tomato. Baguette size 30 centimeters and I want white bread. Now, once I'm done, confirm order. Thank you, Nazha, for placing your order. Now go back, check the system, the order in your system. You can see Nazha's orders right here. And now, if we go back to administrator, so go back home, and then it takes you home. And then you click on admin. And again, you log in as an administrator. Okay, so I'm going to put in my admin username and then password. And I log in successfully. Don't save. Now, if I browse, and so I'm going to click the browse button. Oops, there it is. And I'm going to select Nazha, and you can see all Nazha's information is coming up here. So, and then I can go back home. And that's pretty much it for the tutorial video. So this brings us to the end of this project, and I hope you've enjoyed doing this project and you've learned a lot. And stay tuned for the next exciting project that we're going to be doing.